So last summer, Alpha B Group took on 6 interns, and I just wanted to go over in this video a little bit about the entire process of how we chose the interns and what we expected of them when they came in. And so we're going to talk to Phuc about interns at Alpha B. So you're one of the few firms that takes on interns, so what are your thoughts on that?
The reason why I like to take on interns is because I used to be an intern. When I was in college, I took on a few internships and I hated them. They actually literally made me do coffee runs and remove staples from paperwork and photocopy. And I told myself that if I was ever in a position to take on interns, I'm not going to have them go through that same experience that I went. I want to make sure that they get something useful out of it. So, and I knew accounting, there's a lot of accounting students around this area that just wants experience. So I opened up my doors and I wanted to be sure that if they were going to learn something, they're going to learn something of use. And the thing is, I was doing interns for taxes. And I know not everyone's into taxes. A lot of accounting students want to go into auditing. But I figured, okay, at least let them have the experience in taxes so they know if they like it or not. If they don't like it, they could at least check that off their box and say that that's not for them. Then they could focus more on the auditing portion of accounting.
Okay, so a lot of people know in the financial area, there's a lot of accounting firms and also like, let's just say law firms, all together, but they usually prefer interns and employees from certain schools. Mm-hmm. So like, what was your range of schools? Did you just concentrate here? Did you kind of go out of your zone? Like, what was that like?
We chose schools locally. So we did San Jose State, Santa Clara University, De Anza College, and Mission College. Someone around Santa Clara itself to make it easy for them to commute.
Okay. So I started in the beginning process, posting jobs and filtering resumes. So what are some of the things that you look for in those applicants' resumes?
So I actually did it a little bit different. Because I wanted someone to get experience, I actually looked at the resume to see, okay, if they were majoring in accounting to begin with, and also to see what experience they had in the past in regards to accounting. If I saw that they had a lot of experience, I actually didn't pick them because I already knew that they already had the experience. I wanted to pick someone that might maybe be a sophomore or junior in college and they don't have any real experience with accounting itself. So I wanted to pick those because I wanted to give them the opportunity to have the experience.
Okay, that's one of the things that I actually found really interesting about this and which I liked, that you gave more opportunities to people who didn't have as much experience so they could build up that experience more than a person who has a lot of experience come in and already know how to do the job and everything,
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just really wanted to make sure, because a lot of people, when they go look for jobs or they go apply for jobs, a lot of employers, they're going to look for experience in one way or another. And it's really hard to get experience if no one's going to hire you. I've always concentrated on helping those that might need a little bit more help to get that experience.
Okay, so let's go a little bit into the whole characteristics of the resume. So what do you look for in the resumes, particularly like in skills and that kind of stuff? I know you really don't go off experience too much, so what else do you look for?
So the most common thing is just grammar, really the basic information, because in an internship, especially someone that's in college, there's not going to be much experience in there. So really the only thing I could go off is just, okay, how do they present themselves on paper? Are they standing out? But really it's really hard to try to find a good candidate just based off the resume. But we also did the interview process, which you were a part of.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I was part of the interview process. I was brand new to this, so I really didn't know what to look for too much, but one of our other associates who was a little more experienced, he was also doing the interview process with me, and as well, you kind of, told me what to look for and all that. So basically what you did say is true. Like, I didn't really look more for experience. I looked more for basically like they wanted to gain more experience, So no experience or little to no experience at all. And they were really passionate about it, and they actually wanted to, work with taxes or learn more about taxes. Yeah. So that was a really good kind of lesson for me.
Yeah. I think pretty much if you see that they wanted the opportunity and then you can say, okay, see if they're a good fit. Not only just the opportunity portion, but the personality as well. See if they would be a good fit in a group setting. Because our office is actually a little different compared to other accounting offices. We're a little bit more younger in age, so we run our office differently compared to other offices around the area.
Okay, so let's just let's just get past this. So you posted a job, you looked at resumes, you did interviews, and now you've hired interns. So what's the next step?
So because they don't have any experience, I pretty much go through more of a classroom setting with them, and I teach them the very basic of an individual tax return, just so they know where numbers go, what to look at, what are dividends, what are wages, and really just prepare them on how to prepare a basic individual tax return. And that's part of like a 2 or 3 week session just to get them used to how to calculate taxes in itself.
Okay. Yeah, I remember I was part of that, and you made all of us kind of like hand write all the tax returns.
Yeah.
So that was both frustrating and I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So like, let's say you pass the 2 to 3 weeks. Now what? Like they have a basic understanding of how a tax return should be filled out and filed. So now what do you do?
And then after that, what we did was we actually worked on the program itself with the tax return. So they got to experience using the tax program that we use, looking at actual client documents to see where numbers go to, how to look for certain numbers, and how to calculate certain things for their taxes.
So what did you find? Did you find anything difficult about the process, like when you first initially brought in the interns? Did you find anything more difficult than something else?
I think the most difficult was just allocating the time to the internship, because what we did was it was a 1 day a week internship for 8 hours, so it was every Friday. And then just allocating the time, because we would spend Thursday afternoon preparing for internships and what we need to do to get them ready for Friday. On Friday, it would be all day of helping interns out and teaching them. So I think that was more of the complicated issue, just allocating the time, because then I also have my regular workload to worry about with clients and phone calls and emails.
Okay. So I know like we used to spend the Thursday nights before going over all the or prepping all the workload for the interns and everything. So like, can you explain what kind of work did you choose to give them, like project-wise, and like how did you expect that to help them?
So last year was our first time doing a big group for interns. So last year we took on 6 interns all at once, and trying to fit them into my office was a little bit difficult. But what we did was we tried to make sure that everyone was at least on the same pace with the other people in the internship, to say, okay, it looks like maybe this person might not have gotten it so far yet. Let's try to concentrate on this area a little bit more, and hopefully they'll catch up. But pretty much we just kind of worked around to say, okay, looking at the group as a whole, what do you think that they're able to do as of right now? So we just kind of moved on. We didn't really have a course schedule throughout the whole internship. We kind of worked at it week by week to see where everyone stood, because we were also new to taking on that many interns at once as well.
Okay, so one thing that I did notice was you wanted us to concentrate on a new project every week, or there was deadlines to everything, which was pretty interesting, because I know a lot of people who just get a lot of interns who just get stuck with one project and they're just doing that the whole time, so they really don't get to learn a lot more. But that was pretty interesting. So like, what did you think about that? So like, let's say you gave an intern a project for that week, but they didn't finish it, would you still move on to the next project, or?
So I think I really did move on to the next project, just because I still had them finish it. They just took a little longer to finish it, but really I didn't want to stop the piece for the other interns. So what I always wanted to do was that I wanted to get them experience in different aspects of accounting. So we did the personal taxes, and then 1 week we talked about different business entities like corporations and LLCs and how they're taxed. And then we went into financial ratios and how to start a business. So we had all these different projects lined up, where we knew that we wanted these projects to be worked on. It's just when will they be worked on, and it really came down to if the interns were able to grasp the information that we gave them quick enough, and then we could just let them work on a project, review it, and then go on to the next project.
Okay. So one of the things I kind of want to bring up is I did talk to like a lot of the interns because I spent most of the day with them, and they did say that that was one of the things they liked, that they gained experience in different aspects of taxes and accounting, so that instead of just concentrating on personal taxes, they could actually choose. Like some of them like business taxes more, some are like personal taxes more. So that was a really positive things that I got back from the interns.
Yeah, that's true, because I actually remember splitting up the projects where I gave the group a choice. Okay, who wants to work on the financial ratios versus who wanted to do the starting a business portion of the project. So, and then it was actually split up evenly, where there's two different groups that worked on two different projects at the same time. And I think that was a great experience, because I let them pick, what part of the tax field that they might be more interested in. And then another thing that we did that I really wanted to emphasize at the beginning of our internship was that I wanted each one of them to create a LinkedIn account and put up a professional photo up. So my goal was that I wanted to help them fill that LinkedIn account up with, one, the experience at Alpha B, but also ability to list out projects that they did for Alpha B. And these weren't regular projects where I just had them do it and kind of forgot about it. We actually used these projects for an actual client, such as the project where it helped list out how to start a business in different cities, where it comes to like what licenses you need to get, in what county and what city. So they actually made a template for me that allows me to share with actual clients if they wanted to start a business. And it pretty much is a step-by-step guide on what they need licensing-wise to get the business started.
Okay, so you also helped them with their LinkedIn profiles and kind of beefing up their presence.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, that's pretty good. All right, so let's just say it's the last week of the internship, it's the last day, and the interns are leaving. So, like, what do you expect them to be leaving with from the firm? What do you expect them
Really,
to?
it's just experience. I want them to be able to say, like, they actually learned something from here, and then give them something that they could actually take home with. Or I wanted to give them work and projects that they could actually take home and show other people. So one of the bigger projects was I had them help me create YouTube videos with tax rules and tax laws. One intern did a video on gambling and the tax effect on gambling winnings. Another one helped me with solar credits, and then we also did some charitable giving. So they're able to actually use that and post it on their LinkedIn page on what project they actually worked on. And I wanted interns to know that we're actually incorporating what they've worked on into our firm.
So I just want to say thank you. And the internship was really successful in my eyes. The one thought that one of the interns actually brought up was he wanted to have a longer internship. So basically, instead of a one-day Friday kind of thing, he wanted to come in more days as well.
Yeah.
So like maybe in the future you could incorporate that into it and make a little more time, maybe 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be really great.
Okay, perfect.
Well, I just want to thank you for being with us today, and yeah.